The notion that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a concept that has been circulating among certain Christian groups. This idea is based on the belief that Satan is actively working to destroy God's creation and undermine the teachings of Jesus. Proponents of this view argue that global warming is not just a natural phenomenon, but a deliberate attempt by Satan to bring about chaos and destruction to the earth. According to this perspective, Satan's mission is to lead humanity away from God and towards sin and destruction. By promoting environmental degradation and climate change, Satan is allegedly attempting to undermine the biblical concept of stewardship, which emphasizes humanity's responsibility to care for and protect the earth. This view is often linked to the biblical account of creation, where God gives humanity dominion over the earth and instructs them to care for it. Some proponents of this view point to the fact that many of the world's most prominent climate change activists and organizations are secular or even anti-Christian. They argue that this is evidence of a larger conspiracy to undermine Christian values and promote a secular, humanistic agenda. For example, they might cite the fact that some climate change activists have called for population control measures, which they see as a threat to traditional Christian values such as the sanctity of human life. Others argue that the focus on climate change is a distraction from the real issues facing humanity, such as poverty, inequality, and spiritual darkness. They believe that Satan is using the climate change agenda to divert attention and resources away from these more pressing issues, and towards a secular, environmentalist agenda. This view is often linked to the idea of a green dragon, a metaphor for the environmental movement, which is seen as a tool of Satan to promote a false gospel of environmentalism. However, it is essential to note that this perspective is not universally accepted among Christians. Many Christian leaders and organizations have spoken out on the need for environmental stewardship and action on climate change, citing biblical teachings on the importance of caring for creation. They argue that climate change is a moral and spiritual issue, and that Christians have a responsibility to care for the earth and protect the vulnerable. In fact, Pope Francis' encyclical on climate change, Laudato Si, has been widely praised for its call to action on environmental issues. The encyclical emphasizes the need for a holistic approach to environmental protection, one that takes into account the interconnectedness of human and natural systems. Similarly, many evangelical Christian leaders have spoken out on the need for action on climate change, citing biblical teachings on the importance of caring for creation and protecting the poor and vulnerable. Despite these differing perspectives, the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus remains a compelling narrative for some. It taps into a deep-seated fear of Satan and his alleged plans to destroy humanity and the earth. However, it is crucial to approach this topic with nuance and critical thinking, recognizing that the issue of climate change is complex and multifaceted. Ultimately, whether or not one accepts the idea that global warming is a satanic mission, it is clear that climate change is a pressing issue that requires a comprehensive and sustained response. As Christians and as human beings, we have a responsibility to care for the earth and protect the vulnerable. By working together to address the root causes of climate change, we can promote a more just and sustainable world, one that reflects the values of love, compassion, and stewardship that are at the heart of the Christian faith.